Hey everybody, it is Dungeon Master Mark. Hopefully everyone was having a wonderful Tuesday afternoon. So today is our gaming session number 22, and this will be level 12 of our Undermountain quest. So in the last layer, or the last session, level if you will, the party found a teleporting stone, or teleporting like rune, and they decided that's what level they're going to go to next. According to the map in the book they read, supposedly this takes them, or should take them, to some type of a prison level. So what happens is when they first teleport in, they have a dexterity check. If they make it, they're able to grab hold of, let's put these little walls back up here. If they are able to make that dexterity check, they're able to grab onto these walls before they slowly feather fall down. The reason for that is occasionally a certain evil individual will basically use like a teleport spell and teleport a creature, and then eventually they fall down and make their way into one of these prison cells, unfortunately for them. So anyway, like I said, that's just like the second teleporting stone is kind of levitating up in this room. This section is kind of teleporting, or I should say teleporting, levitating up in the air, and then it's a 35-foot drop down to the bottom. And then, of course, there's 4 walkways, one going to the north, south, east, and west. So basically, if we go to, this will be the north over here. If we go to the north, there's not a door in that end. There's like this opaque, kind of like a portal. So anyone that comes in through that portal was able to leave, except for this particular person here. This is actually a fairly old elvish druid. In her past life, she accidentally helped the Lich on a project. He needed someone who was good aligned. Unfortunately, she was kind of turned a little crazy because of this whole of her help, and then she felt guilty, and so she is trapped in this lair. Of course, she has a magical tree that grows apples and like acorns, so that's what she's able to live off of. And then, of course, there's a little spring at the bottom of the tree, so she's able to get fresh water. Of course, she would have magical spells and able to do that anyway. But, so yeah, like I said, she's a little crazy at the moment. She will try to cast some of these tentacle spells, try to harm the party. If they are able to make like a suggestion or maybe some type of magical effect that will ease that madness, it is possible for them to snap her out of it. But, like I said, it's kind of up to the party how they interact with her. If the party makes their way down this way, they find these kind of ornate golden doors. And they push these doors open. The first thing they see is this withered like husk of a human body. 2 of these large bone pillars, and then this large pool of red fluid, which they assume is probably blood. And then there's a very sickly man standing on the far side next to like a sarcophagus. So of course the first thing the party's going to think is he's probably evil. As soon as he sees the party, he turns around and talks to the party and tries to befriend them the best that he can. He is actually a vampire. The reason he looks so sickly is because he is not fed in a very, very long time. So, depending on how they interact with him, he does want to escape, obviously. He knows that there needs to be something, some type of magical amulet from this level that basically needs to be brought to the door, and that'll release him. If they do try to cast like detect evil or anything like that on him, he will attack because he is hungry. He's been forced to basically live off this conjured or just blood that he wants living creatures. Obviously, is what his preference is. So once they get down to this hallway to the south, they're going to hear like a lot of almost sounds like kind of like construction noises. Which, speaking of construction noises, I apologize. I believe one of our Roombas just went off on its automatic cleaning schedule upstairs. They open the door and they see this rather dark-skinned, balding dwarf. He's a little elderly, and then there's this small little halfling kind of running around helping him. Over in the corner, it looks like there's a pile of these mechanical parts, and there's a couple of these mechanoid creatures on tables. So this is actually the craftsman, which is a dark dwarf, a Dugart, that the Lich hired to help him make some of these magical constructs. He does have some artificer levels, so he's very, very good at making mechanical creatures. This is actually just a spell that has went off not too recently. But yeah, so he has been in prison here because he intentionally just basically made the Lich mad. So if anyone does try to attack him, or if they ask him any questions he's uncomfortable with, he will activate this mechanical scorpion. He also has a mechanical iron cobra down here that he can command to attack as well. The halfling is just his servant. He is not evil. Of course, the artificer is lawful evil, so he is slightly evil, but not completely unredeemable. Of course, he would love to get free also, just so he can get away from the Lich. Now, this one's a little interesting. Over here to the east, they open up these large double doors. There's two of these large, they kind of look like black stone golems with glowing eyes. They seem to be pointed across the room, staring at this woman who's dressed kind of like a ship's captain. So the reason why she's fairly important, she does radiate neutral evil. And of course, there's a large pool of water there. And it looks like there's a bed, huge piles of books. Now, she is actually, if they interrogate her or ask her any questions, she is actually the leader of the pirate guild's daughter. So she is also a pirate herself. She's kind of a multi-talented. She's a roguish, a little bit of a fighter. She does have 2 levels of sorcerer. So she does have some fighting capabilities. These creatures are basically here just to keep her in the room. The door itself, oddly enough, is not locked, not warded in any way, but she knows from trying to fight these two that she cannot get past it. So it's possible they may be able to negotiate with her. Of course, if they press the issue and try to use her father against her, she is more than willing to attack. So the interesting thing is she actually has the amulet that will let any of these other people go, but she doesn't realize that she actually has it. It was actually a gift from the Lich before the Lich brought her down here, and his cruel joke is putting these 2 servants there so that she can't escape. So if all 3, or I should say all 4 of these are opened, or all 4 of them are released, this little stone actually kind of lowers slowly down to the very bottom there, and they can just touch that stone. They can be teleported again. Unusually, though, it doesn't take them back to the previous level. What it does is it actually teleports them over here to this chamber. And of course, as soon as they get in this chamber, they feel the heat radiating. They see this red glowing light. And of course, once they walk out on this bridge, it's this large bridge across this chamber of magma. And of course, once they get over here, there are these 4 columns with these beautiful ornate like ivory statues. And then there's a statue of a wizard on the far side. So what they do not realize is that statue is actually an animated statue, and it does have a slight level of intelligence. It is a magical item. It has some of the memories of the Lich himself when he was still human. And it actually has a second amulet around its neck, and they will require that amulet to leave this level of the dungeon. So I'm expecting this level may take more than the 1 session tonight, maybe possibly tomorrow. It just kind of depends on how well they blow past things. But, like I said, these creatures can attack. If the statue is attacked for any reason, the statue is able to move around and talk, but it cannot leave this chamber. So they are able to ask it some questions. Like I said, it can only answer questions from before the Lich, actually I should say before the wizard turned into a Lich. So it should be kind of interesting. So like I said, they haven't met the actual Lich yet, but they kind of find kind of a portion of its former intelligence. So yeah, so I just want to give you guys an idea. Like I said, this session should be a little bit more complex. Like I said, I wanted to make things a little bit interesting. A couple things, like I said, if anyone's following along, if you want to kind of meld some of these ideas kind of in with your game sessions, depending on your level of your party, you could definitely make him like a vampire spawn if they're a little bit lower level, or even a vampire lord if they're higher. Of course, the druid, you can make them tougher or harder depending on the level of druid. And then these are the Pathfinder, I believe it's called Citroid or Satroid column miniatures. So they're basically animated statues. You do have the ability to fight or attack, like I said, to defend him itself. So it should be interesting with this combat. It basically will only defend itself, kind of like club attacks. It doesn't have any spell casting ability. It's kind of like a, what's the word, a simulacrum, where it's like a artificial person that has some of the memories. But yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. I will go ahead and get this uploaded for you all today. And then hopefully the party gets through this tonight. If not, we may do an early session before my wife and I have to start work in the morning and knock out the next one. Then I might do a slightly later video tomorrow when I set up for the next session. All right, everybody, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.